Imagine you're visiting your parents' house, and the afternoon is going surprisingly well. The conversation is light. The tension that usually hums in the air is quiet for once. You mention you need to leave in about an hour to run an errand you'd told them about earlier. Suddenly, the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Your parent stops talking, looks away towards the window, and lets out a long, theatrical sigh. You ask if everything is all right. They shake their head slowly, a sad little smile on their face. No, it's nothing. I just thought today we'd have a nice time together, that's all. But it's fine, really. You go do your thing. And right on cue, you feel it. That familiar, heavy knot tightening in your stomach. A wave of guilt washes over you, mixed with a dizzying sense of confusion. Your mind frantically rewinds the last hour, searching for the exact moment you supposedly ruined everything. That feeling right there, that invisible weight, is not an accident. It's the intended outcome of a powerful and confusing form of emotional manipulation. For the sake of clarity, we're going to give it a name. This is what I call the disappointment trap. It's a specialty of the emotionally immature parent, a way to control the emotional atmosphere without ever raising their voice. They create a problem that only you can solve by making them feel better. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this trap is built, why your instincts lead you right into it, and how to step around it for good. But be warned, your brain, conditioned by years of this dynamic, will scream at you to do the one thing that gives them all the power. We'll look at that common mistake first, and then I'll give you the tool to rewire that impulse forever. You'll learn to trade that feeling of guilt for a feeling of calm control. This isn't about being cold or unloving. This is about being clear and protecting your own emotional well-being. You are not responsible for managing your parents' emotions. Let me repeat that so it sinks in. You are not and have never been responsible for managing your parents' emotions. So, faced with that heavy sigh and wistful look, what does 99% of us do? We hear the bait, we see the lure, and we bite down hard. Our immediate conditioned response is to try and fix the unspoken problem. We lean in, our voice full of concern, and ask the fatal questions. What is it? What's wrong? What did I do? I thought we were having a nice time. Did I say something wrong? And with those words, the trap snaps shut. By asking, "What's wrong?" you have implicitly agreed that something is wrong and that you are likely the cause. You've just volunteered to be the defendant in a trial you didn't know was happening. You have accepted the role of problem and are now obligated to find the solution that exists only in their head. This isn't your fault. This is a deeply ingrained pattern. If you're a people pleaser or the family peacekeeper, this impulse is practically a reflex. You've been trained since childhood that a parent's unspoken unhappiness is a state of emergency. It feels dangerous and urgent, and your nervous system responds accordingly. But engaging on this level only accomplishes three negative things. First, it exhausts you emotionally as you chase a resolution that is always just out of reach. Second, it validates and reinforces their belief that they are not responsible for their own feelings. And third, it teaches them that this trap is an effective way to get your focused, albeit stressed, attention. You are rewarding the very behavior that causes you pain. The conversation will now spiral into a familiar, circular argument about past hurts, misinterpretations, and their profound sadness. You will leave feeling drained, guilty, and resentful. and absolutely nothing will have changed. There has to be a better way, and there is. So now let's explore the right move. Instead of stepping into the trap, you are going to do something I call acknowledge and anchor. It's a simple two-part technique designed to neutralize the manipulation while maintaining your composure and your boundaries. Let's break down each part, because the nuance is what makes it so powerful. The first step is to acknowledge. This is the most critical and counterintuitive part of the method. You are going to acknowledge the feeling they have stated, but you will not acknowledge the blame they are implying. Think of it like this. You are acknowledging the weather report without taking responsibility for the storm. I just thought we'd have a nice time. The feeling underneath that is disappointment. So your acknowledgement is a simple, factual reflection of that emotion. Phrases like, I hear that you're disappointed, or it sounds like you're feeling let down are perfect. Notice what these phrases don't do. They don't apologize, they don't defend, and they don't accept responsibility. They simply say, I have received the emotional information you have transmitted. This is verbal Aikido. You are not blocking their energy. You are moving with it and redirecting it away from you. Now for the second part, which is just as crucial, the anchor. After you acknowledge their feeling, you must immediately anchor yourself back into your own reality and your own plan. The disappointment trap works by pulling you into their emotional orbit, making their feelings the center of the universe. The anchor is your way of asserting your own gravitational pull. It is a simple statement of your own intention or next action. This can be a physical action, like, I'm going to go start on the dishes. Or it could be a conversational one, like, anyway, I wanted to ask you about your garden. The crucial point is that it makes a firm shift away from their emotional drama toward neutral reality. You are not asking for permission, you are stating what is happening next. This combination of acknowledge and anchor politely but firmly declines their invitation to the drama. It communicates, I see your feeling, it is yours, and I am continuing with my life. So let's rewind the tape and play our scene again, this time using our new tool. I just thought today we'd have a nice time together, that's all. But it's fine. You go do your thing. Now, instead of leaping in to fix it, you take a calm, deliberate breath. This pause is your first move. It signals that you are not hooked, that you are responding, not reacting. I acknowledge. I hear that you're feeling disappointed. And then you do the hardest thing of all. You wait. You let that statement hang in the air for a beat or two. This silence is profound. It passes the emotional responsibility back to them without aggression. Then, before they can formulate a new trap, you deliver your anchor. I'm gonna go start on the dishes. And then you physically turn and move toward the sink. You have acknowledged their reality without getting trapped in it, and then you have recentered the situation in your own physical reality. You didn't argue, you didn't defend, you simply sidestepped. If you find these kinds of practical scripts helpful for navigating difficult relationships, consider subscribing. We release new tools like this every single week to help you protect your peace. But let's be honest for a moment. It rarely ends this quietly and neatly, does it? What happens when they don't just quietly accept your boundary? What if they explode? That's the real test, and we are going to cover exactly what to do about that right now. You've delivered your acknowledge and anchor, you're walking to the sink, and you hear it escalate behind you. Dishes, of course, the dishes are more important than your own mother. Fine, just go. You obviously don't care about me at all. Now your nervous system is screaming, alarms are going off, and every instinct is telling you to turn around and fix this. You must not turn around. This escalation is not a sign you did something wrong. In fact, it is a sign that the technique is working perfectly. Let me say that again. The escalation is a sign of success. You have disrupted a lifelong pattern where their subtle manipulation gets a predictable response. Because the old tool didn't work, they are reaching for a bigger, louder, more obvious tool. An escalation is just a louder invitation to the same trap. It's the same bait, just with more fireworks attached. Your job is to not take the new bait. You do not need to say anything else. You don't need to defend the dishes. You don't need to say that's not fair. You don't need to reassure them that you care. Your sole task is to stay calm and keep following your anchor. You just keep walking to the sink. You turn on the water. You pick up a dish. By refusing to engage with the escalation, you are teaching them something new and profound. You are teaching them that their emotional outbursts will no longer control your behavior. This will feel incredibly difficult at first, like walking through fire. But your calm persistence is the only thing that can break the cycle. Now, it's important to note that you will start seeing this pattern everywhere once you know what to look for. The disappointment trap isn't just for parents. You might see it in a partner who sighs heavily when you want a night out with friends. You may recognize it in a boss who says, "I guess I'll just have to finish this report myself," when you leave at 5. The acknowledge and anchor technique works in all of these situations because the dynamic is the same. Now, there's one more group of people I want to speak to directly. Perhaps, as you've been listening, you heard an uncomfortable echo of your own words in the parents' dialogue. Maybe you are the one who sighs when your adult child needs to leave. If that's you, I want you to take a deep breath and let go of any shame. This awareness you are feeling right now is not a reason for guilt. It is a golden opportunity for change. These are learned behaviors, often passed down through generations. Recognizing the pattern in yourself is the first and most powerful step toward breaking the cycle. This isn't about finding someone to blame. It's about everyone taking responsibility for their own emotional peace. So let's bring this all together. The goal of this technique is not to win an argument or to prove your parent wrong. It is not even necessarily to fix your relationship. The primary goal is to protect your own internal peace by refusing to participate in a dysfunctional dynamic. You've spent a lifetime caught in the disappointment trap. You now have a clear two-step method to sidestep it. I acknowledge the feeling, not the blame. Then anchor yourself back to your own reality with a clear statement of action. It's a practice, not a performance, and it may not be perfect every time. But with each attempt, you strengthen your own boundaries. And that knot in your stomach you felt at the beginning of this video begins to slowly disappear. It is replaced by the quiet, solid strength of your own center. You are not a bad son or daughter for having boundaries. You are a wise adult protecting your right to peace. If this was helpful, please share this video with someone else who might need to hear it. For a deeper dive into these topics, check out the resources I've linked in the description below. Thank you for being here.